The #1 high school sports station. Broadcasting high school sports and events live. HSPNSports.com.
The #1 high school sports network in the nation. NCRA Sports Network.
Hey, my name's Dean Paul. I'm the head football coach at Ohio Northern University. We are a Division III school located in West Central Ohio. We are a school that, first and foremost, we're looking for some young men that are academically qualified. For a school like ours, we're looking for a young man with probably a 19 ACT or a 920 or 930 SAT. We're looking for a young man who's motivated, who has passion to play college football. We're looking for guys that love the game. We're also looking for guys that are driven to be successful on the field, off the field, in their personal lives and in society. Guys that want to be the best. Those are the kind of guys we're looking for. We're also looking for guys that are physically and mentally tough. No matter what position you play, we're looking at those guys that have that toughness. And we're also looking for guys that I think will embrace the challenges. A school like ours will be challenging academically. We play in a great conference. We have some good players on our team. So we need guys that will embrace the challenges on the field with great competition that we play within our university as well as their teams in our conference, as well as guys that will embrace the challenges of a school that's challenging in the classroom. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what we're looking for. It does start with the academics because we will have guys that have to have the type of grades to be successful at a school like ours. So probably a minimum of a 2.7 and probably closer to 3.0 with that 19 or higher ACT. Depends a little bit what major sometimes though. If you want to be an engineer or you want to be maybe in the business or those GPA or ACTs will be a little higher. Pharmacy, we have a pharmacy program which is very unique. You probably need at least a 26 ACT for something like pharmacy. So that's a little bit about, I guess, some of the different requirements we're looking for. Athletic-wise, I think one of the big things in football at a school like ours is it's a very competitive conference, and we probably need guys that really have just slipped through the cracks. One of the things we always are looking for, the guys that maybe should have a scholarship, but somehow, some way, kind of slipped through the cracks. And we need guys that can play scholarship football that maybe it just didn't work out, that they did not get a scholarship, or they just decided that some schools were more about football just as the emphasis, and if they want to find a place that has great balance of football and the academic opportunities, a place like ours is a great fit for them. Had two guys that play in the NFL, one right now, another one that retired 2 years ago. So we have some, I guess gives an idea the type of caliber. We have had some great players. I think in recruiting, it gets confusing, it gets just overwhelming. There's a lot of information to let sink in. And I think there are some things that separate and maybe distinguish our school. First would be the academic programs. We have over 70 majors. We're a little bit bigger small school with about 3,800 students. With a little bit bigger small school, I think there's some really unique opportunities. First one would be with social life and just the atmosphere. You have almost 4,000 students on campus. You still have the advantage of a small school with small classes, get to know your teachers, but then at the same time, there's just more going on campus. There's more of a vibrant, active atmosphere on campus, and that can really, I think, create a good situation for a student where there's a bigger crowd on Saturday, more to do from a social life standpoint, and just an overall atmosphere of that vibrant kind of a feel to the campus. But academically, with over 70 majors, that really separates us from a lot of schools. Most small schools will have 35 or 40 majors. So we have the academic offerings of a big school, but then the advantage of a small school. I think another thing that separates us would be the campus. It's a little more spread out than a lot of small schools. The facilities are phenomenal. I would encourage any student to look on our website, onu.edu, and they will see a campus that is pretty special, of a great balance of older buildings that have been redone, and then a lot of new building projects.
Welcome everybody, I'm Glenn Stout and this is the NCRA Sports Network. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We're obviously at the Coral Springs Brews Room. We hope you guys are enjoying the show. NCRASportsNetwork.com, HSPN Sports Network. And that was a small clip of the 2013 Small College Fair. We are the NCRA Sports Network.
HSPN Sports and the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 high school broadcast network, bringing you high school sports and events in the nation.
Welcome back, everybody. As you all know, I'm your host, Glenn Stout, and these are my co-hosts, Coach Damian Hunt and Coach DC, and we are the NCRA Sports Network coming live from the Coral Springs Brews Room. And how's it going, fellas?
Going well. Going very, very well. We're still in the mood of football, and we're doing transitioning in basketball, transitioning into track and field, girls flag football. Beautiful time, Coach.
Doing well, just, getting through the water. A little wet out, but, it's all good. Doing a lot of practicing, a lot of training, getting everything going, looking forward to just working with everything we have planned on our schedule.
Yep. Absolutely. We were really excited. We had our combine last week and got to meet a lot of high school athletes. And as a matter of fact, the clip that you guys saw before the broadcast started was the Small College Fair, the 2013 Small College Fair. It was held at Coral Springs High School, and they had colleges from all over the country visiting, and we had a few of the coaches, Damian and DC were there. And what went down over there, Coach? I
mean, you're looking at, well over 30 schools that were there. And all the young men doing their very level best to try to sell themselves to these schools. I mean, the Saturday before the actual meet and greet between the athletes and the actual schools, coaches got together, the college coaches and the high school coaches got together, and each school, expressed what each school needed as far as their needs on their football team. And, it was a great event. I mean, you're talking about well over maybe 300, 400 kids there. And everybody just hungry, I've heard a lot of people, I think we did like something over almost 40 interviews of athletes, and you're talking about a lot of young men that were hungry, disappointed, but the great thing is they did not give up, and they came to this event to try to sell themselves and get into a great school, institution, one school that I know very well, Hanover College, of which I attended, D3 school in Hanover, Indiana. So it was a great event.
Well, I'll tell you what, you talk about hungry, let's talk about hungry. That food they served at the barbecue was off the chain.
It was very good.
I was very impressed with the meal. But besides my belly, let's talk about what happened at the fair. It was a lot of great schools there. A lot of athletes came in. They really looked good. A lot of them dressed really, really sharp. The colleges were impressed. I even had a couple athletes that I talked to that were offered trips to go up and visit Seton Hill, just outside of Pittsburgh, a Division II school who's very good. They're just outside of Pittsburgh. I knew where they were because I had a little stint in Pittsburgh myself. But a couple kids, wide receiver Jason Engel and quarterback Anthony Mazza were offered trips to come visit their school. So, they're looking at making some offers. So there was some live offers there, Coach.
And those were a few athletes, obviously, that were in our combine that we had last week. And that's what we were trying to stress to those kids is that you're not just going to get out there just by running in a combine and expect somebody to come and pick you up. You got to get out there yourselves. And we wanted as many athletes to show up as possible, and we got a lot of athletes from the combine that were actually able to go. But, I mean, it's a great experience for those kids to be able to learn on the quick path how to sell themselves.
Right, absolutely. And not to mention, the biggest fallacy, and all of us, can attest to this, is that the biggest fallacy that a lot of parents and athletes actually believe is that it is actually the job of the head coach, the high school head coach, to sell their athletes. Absolutely not. It is your job as an athlete. You are the franchise. You're your own CEO. It is your job to sell your brand to a college that's asking, what do you have to offer? And, and now the flip side of that are so many, because of the turnover in Broward County is so high. You had a lot of assistant coaches. I know that the great Florida State University hitman, Devin Bush, which is the defensive coordinator over there at Flanagan High School, they are still looking for a head coach. So you're looking at, a lot of assistant head coaches trying to take on and put on the hat of being an interim head coach for that moment. But, I mean, it was a great event. There's still a lot of young men out there that didn't even realize that they're a fair was even going on. So a lot of those young men, if you're watching right now, go to NCRA.com, NCRASportsNetwork.com. Fill out and make a profile for yourself and let us know. Listen, I didn't know anything about the fair, which is unfortunate. But I've gotten multiple calls from parents or parents of other athletes and say, hey, this young man had no idea of the fair. So hey, listen, we still have a lot of contacts out there. So you got to make yourself available and put a profile on NCRA. And I'm telling you right now, you'll be surprised. We had 2 young men that have already have offers, multiple offers. One young man from Piper, Mr. Laurent, he got an offer from the University of Hawaii. Wow. To play football. We also have, I believe Zephyr Clark, which we had on the show last week, and he has multiple offers from Division I program. And of course, and that's actually doing 39 interviews. Wow. We had 39 interviews, not including Mr. Damian Huttenhoff, the head athletic director. Or should I say he's actually over all of athletics for Broward County.
Big chief.
Yeah, that's the big man. And, him and as well as other people. I mean, we even had Everett Waters from Jacksonville, Everett Waters College come in, and they want us to do things to help them out as well. So, I mean, it was a great job in networking between NCRA and college, but most importantly, it was about the athletes.
Oh, I totally agree. But what I want to say to the athletes out there is that, yeah, some of the kids are getting offers. They're getting offers because they're great athletes. But they're not just getting offers because they're athletes. They're getting offers because they're tremendous students. Right. The first thing a college wants to know is not your stats, not your 40 time, not any of that. They want to know, what's your SAT?
If you qualify.
Yeah, what's your ACT? Exactly. What is your grade point average? How many community service hours do you have?
Did you fill out the FAFSA?
Have you done FAFSA? Exactly. They want to know those things. That's important to a college, not your 4.35. Your 4.35 is very good, but 14 on the ACT doesn't match up with 4.35. You got to have that 17, 18 to get the money. And you got to do well on the SAT. You got to get your grade point average over 3. It's very easy, gentlemen. Ladies, you have nothing else to do. You're not responsible for anything. You're responsible for going to school, getting A's and B's. Your parents take care of everything else. Do your job. They're doing theirs.
I'm so glad you said that, DC, because we can't stress that enough, is that just because the combine's over with, just because the small college fair is over with, doesn't mean that these kids can't still go and play. Doesn't mean that coaches aren't still looking for athletes. And that's the number one thing is we want them to stress is that don't give up, don't quit. There's still opportunities out there.
Right, and one other thing I want to close out with on that on my behalf is that a lot of kids sign on February the 6th. A lot of kids will sign after February the 6th. Athletes, take it from me. Learn from an old hen. Let me tell you, that doesn't mean school is over. You didn't graduate. You just got signed. Go to class. Don't lose your scholarship based on doing something not so smart, like not going to class, not getting your academics up, not keeping them up, doing very things that's unconstitutional in high school. What do you say about that, coaches?
I mean, what is there to say about it? I mean, you said it all.
DC always puts the icing on the cake.
He does, and candles as well.
We appreciate that. We are the NCRA Sports Network. We're live here at the Coral Springs Brews Room. We thank you all for watching at home. NCRASportsNetwork.com, HSPN Sports. Those of you that came out to the Coral Springs Brews Room, of course, we appreciate you all coming out here. We got a great show today so far. We talked a little bit about the small college fair, a little bit about our combine that just passed by, and obviously we're going to get more into high school basketball. As everybody knows at home, March Madness is right around the corner, college basketball. Everybody's getting really excited seeing the tournaments coming around, and we're obviously going to be able to cover a lot of that with you today. Going to give you guys the heads up on who's playing in the state championships, who's playing in the semifinals coming up this weekend. It's going to be big. And before we get to that, we actually had an event this past Monday, and it was a great event. It was the Miami Dolphins Academy, girls flag football, and it was a great event, and we got some clips for you, so check it out.
The number one high school sports network in the nation. NCRA Sports Network.
This is Damian Hunt with NCRA Sports. We got Mr. Twan Russell here with the Miami Dolphins. I'm telling you, we're having a great time here. I want to ask you a couple of questions. How long has the Miami Dolphins been putting on this flag football clinic?
We started in 1997. A guy by the name of Willis Whalen started with Damian Huttenhoff, and it has grown. I mean, it used to be like a couple teams. We used to do it at Larkhart Stadium. Then when we built the bubble, we brought it here, and the ladies love it. It's one of those signature events that we do at Broward County that the ladies look forward to, and it's exciting time. So we've been doing it for a long time. Let me hear them Tigers, Ely Tigers. All right.
What do you hope to get for the ladies out of this event?
Number one, they're going to have a great time. I mean, for them to just, no pun intended, just to let their hair down and have some fun. But they get to meet former NFL players. It's not super detailed. We're not teaching them every aspect of the game, but we're putting the football in their hand while they're running, while they're doing their drills. We're coaching up while they're doing it.
Right.
And they're doing actual drills that NFL teams do. So they're making that connection with, okay, this is what the guys do who play tackle football. So now they're understanding that it's not a big difference between what their coaches are asking them to do and what the coaches of tackle football players are asking them to do.
My name is Kevin Ackenby. I've been coaching at Cooper City for about 3 years. My first year coaching the girls' flag football team. They go just as hard as the boys do. This is a great experience for the girls that allows them to really get involved in what football is about when going through the drills and things of that nature. They don't get to hear it from me and see me do it out there. They actually get to come out here and see other NFL people and actually put them through it so they can get that good experience.
I'm Carrie Ann, I'm in 12th grade. I'm Gabby, and I'm in 11th grade. I'm Mar, and I'm in 10th.
Tiffany, 11th.
I think it teaches our newer players how to play the game well and from like educated people in the sport, and it like unifies us as a team, and we can see our competitors and learn from them and see what they do well and see how we can improve ourselves.
To learn more agilities and meet other players, I think it's a good opportunity.
I've been on record to say I think in the next 10 years that it's going to be a collegiate sport because the sport is growing. Broward County was the first county to have it here in the southeast Florida. Okay. Now you have Palm Beach has it now. Now Dade County has a league now, so it's starting to grow. Now, so as it grows, the colleges are going to be forced to offer it because these ladies are proving that the game is competitive, that people want to watch it, and that they have the same ability as the boys have. They just need an opportunity.
Sierra Thomas, 12th grade.
Trisha Etienne, 12th grade. Jasmine Rojas, 12th grade.
Basically tackling challenges of a masculine sport, it kind of like puts motivation in our hearts, especially when we train hard and get out of school, try to keep our grades up and stuff. So it's basically like a push, motivation to do our best in everything that we do. I mean, just them taking their time out of their day, coming to help us train just means a lot to us. We're just grateful for anything. So we're just very appreciative for them coming out to come help us train today. 3.6.
3.5. 3.4.
Listen, we have the 3.0 plus ladies here, the Lady Gators of Everglades. They look like they finna rip something up. I don't know what's about to happen. Again, I'm ready for somebody to accidentally tackle somebody. I'm not telling you to do it. I don't promote violence, but if you get a little violent, I'm not mad at you. This is Demi, NCRA Sports, with the Lady Gators of Everglades.
Bye.
Rondé Gaston, Ed Perry, Chris Conlon, Derek Rogers. I mean, we had over 10 guys here, and that's the exciting part, that these guys, when you send an email out and say, hey guys, I'm doing this event with some ladies, you get 5 emails like, they playing football? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, I want to come and teach. So these guys showing up and giving up them time and of themselves to be able to participate just tells you how remarkable it is that this game is growing so fast, because you have people like them that are coming to be involved. We actually do 2 clinics with Broward County. We do the football clinic, which you see here,
right,
and then we do a jamboree. So it's just a kickoff of the season. A lot of ladies, they compete against teams that they wouldn't normally compete against, but they do have they do have championships. They have county championships and things like that, but we don't crown a championship through the Miami Dolphins.
What do you want to tell the young ladies at home that don't think they can do this?
I mean, honestly, anything that you want to do in your life, you can. You just need the opportunity to be able to do it, and we're giving you the opportunity. So we're asking you to go out and participate in your middle schools and your high school football programs, because honestly, ladies, you're the pioneers of the sport, and you see the sport growing, and you're getting so many more girls from soccer and from baseball who say, I want to run down, I want to, they say, I want to moss somebody, they want to catch the deep pass. And when you watch them play, it's amazing to what degree. It's almost like if you watch women's basketball and men's basketball. Women's basketball is more of a technical sport. They bounce pass, you know, they play the true essence of the game, and that's what these ladies do. They play the true essence of the game, and it's very pure. And I think by giving them more opportunities, all it's going to do is grow the game of football. Ultimately have more scholarships for women's sports. And if ladies need extra help, we do Dolphins Academy training too, so they can go to our website at dolphinsacademy.com and check us out, and we can help them become even a better football player.
Hope you all enjoyed that. That's the NCRA Sports Network at the Miami Dolphins Academy, out there at the Bubble, actually. The Bubble out there in Davie, and it was a great event for all of the girls in Broward County with the girls flag football. I mean, all those girls, you could see how excited they were to be involved in it. As a matter of fact, when I was going to Coral Springs Charter, I actually was an assistant coach on the girls flag football team to get some service hours. But I loved being out there helping out, coaching with the girls. And I was involved in one of the first events they had when they first instituted it at the Bubble. And I mean, I can imagine now how much it's grown from what it was originally. And I mean, with the events that they have, those girls are all into it. And I didn't know personally how girls flag football was a big thing down here, because I was always doing tackle football, high school tackle football with the boys, but the girls were never involved. But the girls really enjoy playing flag football. Obviously, they see boys playing all the time. They see it on TV all the time, and man, they get after it just like the boys do.
They do. I mean, I was actually there myself along with your brother Ryan Stout, and I'll tell you right now, these young ladies, first of all, this is getting ready to be an extravaganza that you've never seen before. Girls flag football, should I say women's flag football, is getting ready to take off like you never believe. As you possibly heard with Twan Russell, former Miami Dolphins there and 7-year pro, you're talking about them wanting this sport to get to the collegiate ranks. And this is, I mean, and it should. You have so many athletic young ladies out there that are pushing the envelope. They're doing things that, that will even, wow the gentleman. And, I mean, you got to give them respect, because I'm telling you, the more and more we get more in depth with these women type events and athleticism, you're finding out, the cheerleaders is not just, clapping your hands and doing toe touches. They are some strong young ladies with the tumbling, with the strength. And the same thing goes on the flag football field. You got to respect it. I mean, you had schools like Blanche Ely, Dillard, Monarch High, Cooper City, which you saw one of the coaches there, Cora Glade. You had Board Anderson. A plethora of schools were there. Over about 20 schools were there. And I'm just telling you, it was a great opportunity over there at the Dolphins training facility. And also, you got to give a lot of props to the Dolphins Academy, allowing us to go out there to do a little film. And, I mean, you even had some of the Dolphins All-Pro, Aronde Gadsden, Chris Collins. I mean, you're talking about Troy Drayton, who we've had on the show before, representing the Dolphins Academy. It was a great event, and I just hope that this flag football really takes off.
Coach DC, with your extensive background in training athletes, obviously I'm sure you've encountered training a lot of girl athletes also as boys. I mean, their intensity level, I'm sure, is just as high as some boys.
They're pretty much more competitive, and the young ladies always feel like they have a little more to prove. So they're a little more competitive, they're a little more spirited, have a little more fire. The guys, a lot of guys have the fire, but most of them go through the motions for training. No one likes to train. Everybody want to go to heaven. Nobody want to die. So, no one likes to train. Everyone wants to get the glory. Sunday is where they want to be, but you got to train hard to get there. And these girls, they don't get to Sunday, but they work hard. They're just as competitive. They're just as athletic, and they're just as talented. So, yes, sir, exactly. You're exactly right on point, Derek G4.
We want to thank the Miami Dolphins Academy, obviously, for having us out there, NCRA Sports Network, Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation. We definitely look forward to following girls flag football as the seasons continue to go on, and we're definitely going to have some girls on the show. We've been getting a lot of feedback from the girls. They're really excited about NCRA. Obviously, you could see on the camera, they were all jumping in front of the camera real quick. And we really appreciate just women athletes all throughout South Florida, Broward County, Dade County. I mean, it's hard to get them out in front, obviously, with the amount of great athletes that come out of South Florida alone, just in football, basketball, stuff like that. But there's a plethora of women athletes all through Broward County, Dade County, West Palm Beach that could be getting scholarships throughout the country. And that's what NCRA Sports Network's here for. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to break down a little bit of this high school basketball. Stay tuned.
Room. Great taste is just the beginning. The first thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
At Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, we believe that if you change one life, you can change a generation.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Glenn Stout. This is the NCRA Sports Network, live from the Coral Springs Brews Room. We want to thank everybody for watching so far. My co-host, Coach Damian Hunt, Coach DC, and we represent the NCRA Sports Network. We've had a great last 2 weeks. Obviously, with the Combine, we got to talk a little about that, a little bit about the small college fair. Obviously, the girls' flag football, it's been a great 2 weeks, a jam-packed 2 weeks, and we're going to get ready to get back into the seasonal games that we've been following. Obviously, we want to follow on with the high school sports in season. So we're going to go into high school basketball. Obviously, the playoffs have been underway. Some big name teams have been playing. We're going to get into the state championship this weekend, actually.
Absolutely.
Saturday is the state championship. Friday is some of the semifinals, so it's going to be some back-to-back games for some of these teams. We want to congratulate, obviously, a local team from Coral Springs. Coral Springs Christian is actually playing in the state championship, first ever state championship for them, and that's just a great accomplishment for a small school like that. And a few other schools that I want to mention real quick. Obviously, we've been talking about Grandview Prep out of West Palm Beach all season long. Smaller team out 2A. They won the semifinal game against North Florida Educational Jacksonville, 63-49, and they're playing in the state championship game against Orlando Christian Prep. That's this Saturday at 8 o'clock. As I just mentioned, Coral Springs Christian is playing against Providence Jacksonville Saturday at 8:05 also. And St. Andrews, a local team, they made it to the state championship, and they are playing against Lake Highland Prep of Orlando at 4:30 on this Friday. And those are a few of the marquee games. Obviously, I want to cover because I do most of the West Palm Beach. And I'm going to send it over to the coaches, Damian and DC, and let them talk a little about Broward County teams and Dade County teams.
I mean, no surprise. Of course, Blanche Ely is getting ready to lace them up and play Bartow for the semifinals. And, of course, you know, Ely's being the heavy favorite, being last year's and defending state champions. I mean, Coach Melvin Randall has those young men looking like powerhouse, looking like juggernauts. They had a couple of scares, you know, going through 2 overtimes. But I tell you one thing, what they're doing is phenomenal. And, of course, my alma mater, got to give it up for Coach Kenny Brown over there at the Deerfield Beach High School Bucks, doing big things. They're also in the semifinal for 8A, going against Haggerty for the semifinal. And I'm telling you right now, it's getting ready to be hot. Broward County is well represented with Coral Springs Christian. Of course, you got to also give a lot of love to the, you know, to the females. On the female side, we got Coral Springs Charter, you know, representing. I know, Glenn, you know, G4 over here is giddy with Coral Springs Charter doing big things. Unfortunately, they did lose in state against Ribault. But, you know, you got to give a lot of kudos.
First time in the school history going to a state championship. It's very, very huge moment for that.
That is huge. And for the ladies, give it up for the Lady Panthers of Dillard. They are a four-time state championship. Can you say dynasty? That's what a true dynasty is, Philadelphia Eagles. That is what a true dynasty is. They are ripping it up. And, of course, you know, we're going to wrap it up with 7A. Unfortunately, Nova High School, the Lady Titans, did lose to look like Buckholz, and I'm telling you right now, it's getting ready to go big time, and you know, push it over to Dade County over there with Coach DC. But 954, you are just straight ripping it up, and mad love, mad props to all those coaches out there. You're doing a great job. Bring it home, Broward County.
305. That's 305, must I say. We'll let Broward handle and Palm Beach handle the smaller divisions. We'll take care of the larger ones. And that's what we're doing. We got Miami Norland facing Gainesville up at the semifinals. That's Miami Norland Vikings, folks. They're just not a football school. They play basketball just as well. And down south, all the way down south, we got the South Miami Cobras. The Mighty Mighty Cobras, just like the Boyd Anderson Cobras. The Mighty Mighty Cobras of South Miami. Alumni Dennis McKinnon. People like that. Great players. What's the young man who played for Kansas City? Derek, I can't remember his last name. Derek Thomas, I'm sorry.
Okay, Derek Thomas.
All great alumni from South Miami High School.
Linebacker, right.
South Miami got a great team this year. They upset a couple teams getting there. So I'm looking for big things, but they have a big 6'9" guy that's leading the way.
So could it be a Dade versus Broward game for state? That could be huge.
It is a possibility. Deerfield Beach could end up facing South Miami.
Oh, boy.
I would love to see the Bucks and the Cobras get down.
Man.
You know, 305-954 in the house.
That's what we're doing.
I'd like to see that. Then we have Miami Norland up top. They'll take on one of the other northern schools. So I expect Norland and South Miami to win both of these games. But, you know, that's why they play the games. No matter what we expect, it's what happens, what counts.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Looking through the brackets that we've just covered, there's been the entire state of Florida is pretty much covered. We've had teams from all the way up north to Jacksonville playing in the state championship, all the way down south is Dade County, Broward County. As we said, I mean, there were just some huge games that went on. You mentioned the Ely game. That was a double overtime thriller game. I mean, obviously, Ely's season was on the line. All that hype, all the stuff about them getting back to the state championship, stuff like that. I mean, that came to a huge game against a West Palm Beach juggernaut, Palm Beach. And, I mean, what can you say about these kids are putting it all out on the line? A lot of these kids were playing high school football, so they had to get over to the basketball courts as soon as football season was over with. And some of those teams were in the playoffs, so they didn't get much time off. And now they're competing for another state championship.
I mean, you're looking at Blanche Ely being 25-1. The only loss that they had was to a school out of state. So any school, I mean, they're undefeated in Broward County. They beat my alma mater, Deerfield. We covered that game. And, I mean, what can you say? Melvin Randall, the head coach, has been doing this legitimately ever since he was a head coach for basketball at Crystal Lake Middle School. The man he's just a winner. So the chances are, I mean, you know, the chances are of him winning state championship is very high right now. So, I mean, you know, you got to give a lot of kudos. And, of course, Coach Kenny Brown over there at Deerfield High, I mean, I'm thinking that I believe their record is like 23-4. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at either. So, again, Broward County is really doing it big. Very proud of both of those programs. I know Ely has always been the rival against Ely. I mean, has always been the rival against Deerfield. But whenever there's going to be somebody that represents 954, you got to absolutely tip your hat off. And again, what can you say about the Dillard Panthers, the Lady Panthers? They are just running ropshod through all competition. 4 years? That's crazy.
Yeah, Coach, I want to give another shout-out to Deerfield Beach. You know, they take on some of the best competition throughout the year. They went over to Ely and faced Ely in their gym, one of the top teams in the state, if not in the country. And, you know, for them to be in the state championship, I understand why they're there. They're battle-tested. So you get battle-tested during the year. When you get into the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game when you face teams like Blanche Ely throughout the year.
It's going to be an exciting next couple days. Obviously, the state championship's coming up. NCRA Sports Network, we're excited to be able to bring you the information, the up-to-date, as soon as possible. As soon as we get the stats, as soon as we get the scores, we obviously bring it to you guys at the NCRASportsNetwork.com. We're going to be covering a lot of the basketball stuff, obviously, coming up to this weekend. We'll be covering the championship games next week, let you guys know the results of all that. And girls flag football is right around the corner, so we're really excited about that. We're going to be covering, obviously, the winter sports are coming around the turn. So we got the softball, baseball, track. A lot of the local baseball teams are doing really well. Coral Glades High School, a local high school actually where we had the combine, they're 4-0 so far in the season and a very tough district, and we'll be able to go over there. Hopefully we'll be able to catch a few games over there. The district championships are going to be played over there. So we're getting right in the full swing of things. Just because high school football season is over with doesn't mean that we're not going to keep continuing on with the rest of the sports around town. And that's been a great show so far tonight, guys. What do you think?
Hey, Coach, believe me, high school football is not over. Spring football is right around the corner.
That's true. Absolutely. You don't want to forget about that.
Well, we got to give a lot of love. First of all, you said Coral Glades, giving a lot of love to the head coach over there, Coach Jorge Miranda. You're doing a phenomenal job over there. But also, we're going to bring it back to track and field. One of the young ladies that we got an opportunity to cover during National Signing Day, February 6th. This young lady by the name of Callie Davis -White. She made sure that I put that in there from Boyd Anderson. She's actually getting her, she's starting her petition as the best track athlete of the year. She actually went up to Washington State and she won the Brooks PR Invitational indoor 60 meters and ran a 7.31, which is second nationally.
Wow!
And I mean, it was hosted at the University of Washington, Seattle, and she's going to the Florida State University Seminoles. So again, I mean, you got to give a lot of love. Them Cobras are doing
that
big
local
things.
talent. We got to love that local talent.
I mean, she is possibly going to be the #1, if not the national ranked and nationally winning track athlete of Broward County, if not just Broward County, of the nation. That is huge, man. So shout out to over there, Callie. We see you. We cover you. We're not disrespecting track and field. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to jump out there too. We got to see them cleats hitting that pavement, man.
We love seeing those names down there in the newspaper. Obviously, we love seeing big names representing South Florida all throughout the country, because without that, we wouldn't be on the map, and that's what we're here for. NCRA Sports Network. We are here to cover these athletes down in South Florida. Obviously, we want to branch out. We're going to be nationwide soon, so you guys got to watch out for the NCRA Sports Network.
Better jump on the bandwagon. Better get on this ride, because when the trains start moving, it's official.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight off the NCRASportsNetwork.com. Those of you that came out to watch the show live at the Coral Springs Brews Room. Obviously, without Coral Springs Brews Room, we wouldn't have a place to broadcast from. So we're going to wrap this thing up. We want to thank a few people. Elizabeth Lavulu with the What to Do Network. Tonto Irie with the Reggae Run-Ins. Obviously, I want to thank my two co-hosts over here, Damian Hunt and Coach DC. And those of you watching at home, those of you that came out to watch the show, we appreciate you all. And we'll see you guys this weekend. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit more about the basketball. If you guys need any information, you can go to the website and catch any of the information about that. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
And I want to thank you too, G4. No one ever thanks you.
Yeah, that's right. I should get some more thanks. But we thank you all for tuning in tonight, and we will see you guys next time. We are the NCRA Sports Network.
Let's go Shoelace. Do it, baby.
HSPN Sports and the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 high school broadcast network, bringing you high school sports and events in the nation.